Hello, thank you for joining Yin Yoga, the practice where we try to slow down and be aware of breathing and sensations in the body. Tonight we're doing what we call a pyramid, and we move up in increments of time, so we stay longer in each pose as we move through the session. So as always, do what you can. If anything doesn't feel good, change your maybe foot position or hand position or head position, and that sometimes reduces tension or sometimes is better for us. So it's not really about what shape you're making, it's where you're feeling the stretch, and I'll mention where the target area is, where we're supposed to be feeling the stretch. So we're going to start in what we call hero. So for hero, we have maybe 2, 3 or 4 blocks, and each time we try it, the more we do it the better, because we'll be able to eventually sit with our feet apart. We'll be able to sit between our feet, kind of oscillating our bottom so it comes down to the floor. So I'm going to start with 2 blocks. So I have my knees together, my feet apart, and the block is between the feet. So tonight we're working on stretches all the way from the feet into the thighs, the hamstrings, the hips, the glutes, and also the shoulders. So in some of the moves we can add different arm movements, so we can maybe think a little bit and work a little bit on our posture. So the first move, we're just going to stay in hero, each side within the cow face posture. This is just an option. So the cow face posture is great for releasing tension in the shoulders. So what we do is we stretch out the arms, and we're bringing the left arm right up the back, and then we're stretching the right hand up and bringing both, trying to bring both fingertips together. So again, the more we do these type of things, the easier we'll find the movements. So just going to set my timer. So we're starting off with 1 minute on this cow face posture in hero. Try not to stick your bottom out too much. Maybe think about turning or curling the tailbone under a little bit. If we stick our bottom out too much, we've got an arch in the back, which creates compression in our lower back. So hold in this cow face if you want to, or if cow face doesn't work for you, can rest your palms on your thighs. Out another 3 breaths this side. And then change sides, so releasing the arms down. This side with the right shoulder, if you're right-handed, might be a little bit tighter. So we're walking our right hand up our back, stretching our left hand up and seeing if the fingers can join again. A bit more tricky this side maybe. So if you are in this cow face, try and push your left elbow up towards the ceiling and really try to draw your left tricep back. So we're getting a stretch in the tricep as well. Again, not arching the back. And about 3 more breaths. And releasing the hands out to the side, shaking out the fingers, rotating the wrists, and then stretch the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Stretch up as tall as you can. Deep breath in and breath out. Bring the fingers down slowly. and shake out, and then coming onto all fours. So for 2 minutes we're coming into the squat. So I need to rest my heels on a block. You might not need to do that. So the squat is great for stretching out the hips and the glutes and the back. So we have the heels on the floor, toes out to the side and the knees out to the side, and we're bringing the palms together at the chest, trying to push our knees out to the side as much as possible. You can rest the heels on the mat if you prefer. I'm holding for 2 minutes. If you need to come out or the knees feel a bit sore, the other option maybe would be to come into dangling to stretch out the back of the leg. So here we come into kind of a forward fold. We're taking hold of opposite elbow. And again, we're feeling a stretch in the lower back, in the hamstrings. So it's up to you. You can alternate between one and the other. If you're in the squat, try to keep your chest forward and your shoulder blades coming down into your back pockets. And then coming out of dangling or squat onto all fours, and then stretching back one leg and the other leg. So a bit of movement to counteract the stillness of the actual yin poses here. So sometimes that's what's good about yin, is that we get to move out of the stretches because they do become quite intense with the deep holds. That's where the magic happens. Time is a magic ingredient in yin. Okay, so now 3 minutes is we're going to try shoelace. So I'll give you a couple of options for shoelace. So the kind of gentler one is on your back. So I'll just quickly go through it. So it's the right leg over the left thigh, and we draw the feet off the floor and we take hold of either drawing the knee into the chest or taking hold of opposite ankle, the outside of the ankle, and drawing the knees towards the chest and the feet up towards the shoulders. So if it's your right knee, that's closer to your chest, you should be feeling quite an intense stretch in the right glute and the right hip. So it's nice to just relax here on the floor, or to do this seated, you can lift up. Seated is more intense on the hips, more intense on the knees as well. So holding for 3 minutes. So we can sit upright, can perch on a block, or we can lift the flesh If we're doing the seated one, we can lift the flesh away from the buttocks so we're on our sitting bones. We can kind of walk the feet away if you're in the seated. You can draw the feet closer to the hips if you want to. And even more intense would be to walk the hands forward, push the bottom back, and then maybe coming onto the elbows, resting the chin on the top knee. So as we go longer in the poses, we want to now slow our breath down. Just focus on the breath. Maybe focus on the sensation in the target area, which for shoelace with the right knee on top is your right hip and your right glute. So if you're in the seated shoelace, lifting up slowly, and then taking the hands back, lowering slowly onto your back. So you're in reclining shoelace, and then from reclining shoelace, stretching both feet up towards the ceiling, pushing the heels away, toes towards the face, stretching out the back of the legs, maybe feet side to side or stretching one leg out. And we go into reclining shoelace or seated shoelace on the other side. When you're ready, you can keep doing those, stretching out the back of the legs if that feels good, if you don't feel quite ready. So this time, crossing the left knee over the right knee, and then again taking hold of opposite outside of the ankles. And here, bringing the knees in towards the chest, we can draw our knees in, so interlocking the fingers on the top knee again if you want to, or holding on to the outside of the ankles. So now the target area is your left hip, left glute. If the feet come closer up towards the shoulders, it's more intense. So you can make it as intense or relaxing as you like. If you take the feet over to the right hand side of it, you'll get a deeper stretch in your left hip. And then if you want to try the seated shoelace, we press into the elbows to lift up. So now your left knee is on top. So again, we can lift the flesh from underneath the buttocks. So we're on the sit bones. We can stay seated upright, or we can come over the knees again, resting the chest on the thighs, maybe the chin on the top knee. So yin is a practice in staying still, if we can. But remember, we need to come out if it gets too intense, or if we want to change position at all to access the target area. And then when we've settled, we again focus on deep, slow breath. We're trying to make the breath smooth and even, so we can focus on counting the in-breath and the out-breath. We can count the pause in between the in and the out-breath as well. If we're in the forward or seated shoelace, lift out slowly. Slowly ease onto our backs into reclining shoelace. Then both versions, stretching the feet up towards the ceiling, pushing the heels away, toes towards the face. We can maybe hug one knee into the chest and extend the opposite leg along the floor. And change sides. Either taking your knees down to the right hand side, pressing into the floor to lift up slowly, or rolling up to seated. And from here, going into Sphinx for 4 minutes. I'll give you some options for Sphinx. For some of us it's maybe quite intense, so first option, anytime right from the start, if you want to, you can relax in crocodile. So that's where we make a pillow with our hands, just rest the cheek on the pillow, and the big toes to come together and the heels come out to the side. And we can focus on breathing in deeply to our lower back. And the 3-part breath is great for crocodile. On the inhale, the tummy expands, and on the exhale, tummy draws away from the mat. Now, if it feels okay, Sphinx is elbows just underneath the shoulders, glutes relaxed, thighs relaxed. If you have any back issues, you might want to draw your kneecaps up and squeeze the glutes, just to maybe support the back a little bit. That version of Sphinx may be a little bit intense. You can take the elbows away, which reduces the compression in the back. If you feel like you need more intensity, we can lift the feet off the floor. You can bring the chin towards the chest, and that's making a nice stretch for the neck. We can lift the face forward. It's up to you. And then another option for those who've got quite bendy backs is the seal. So for here, the hands come out to the side, and hands kind of in front, or walking hands closer in. Too much for me. So I'm coming back to Sphinx. I know my limits. So staying in your version of Sphinx if you want to, or we can do Sphinx wearing his bow tie. So here, a bit more work on the opening of the shoulders. So we take the right hand, fingertips over to the left, the right elbows in front, and the left hand, fingertips over to the right. And the more we walk the fingertips away, more opening in our shoulder blades, and we can rest our chin or our cheek on our right bicep, or our left tricep or bicep. So the Sphinx is changing his bow tie to the other side. So we walk the hands back, then we change sides. So now the left hand's in front, fingertips over to the left, and left fingertips over to the right, and right fingertips over to the left. And lifting out slowly, and then coming into your crocodile. So making the pillow, resting the cheek, closing the eyes, big toes together, and heels out to the side, maybe hips side to side a little bit, breathing into the lower back, the full breath, abdominal breathing, breathing into the tummy and the lower back. Looking towards your right elbow, bring the right knee up towards the right elbow. Right knee slowly comes down, and then change to look towards your left elbow, left knee up towards the left elbow. Left knee draws down, and coming out of Sphinx slowly into child pose. So pressing into the elbows, coming into tabletop first. Move slowly out of Sphinx. So child pose, if you want to, you could have some blocks or a block to rest your bottom on, or you're resting your bottom on your heels. So child pose for 5 minutes as we move up our pyramid. So knees apart, big toes together, and then you can either rest your elbows down or rest your head on your hands, or you could have a block to rest your head on. So if you want more of a stretch in the adductors, the inner thigh, you could take the knees further apart. If you want more of a stretch in your back, you could have the knees about hip width apart. Also, you could bring the backs of your hands with the palms facing up more towards your feet. And then working on that deep breath. So here working on and focusing on a 10-second breath. So this is inhaling 5 and exhaling 5. Feel the full expansion on your inhale and that full release as you exhale. Getting ready to come out of child pose, bringing the hands forward, lifting up slowly, and because we've had the knees in that bent position for a while, we can stretch out the back of the legs, taking one foot back, one at a time. If we want to, we can lift up into a down dog, keeping the legs either straight or bent, maybe pedaling the heels up and down, taking the dog for a walk. Bring the knees back down. So next 6 minutes is butterfly or half butterfly. So the butterfly, I prefer to sit on my block just to help elevate my pelvis so I can fold forward a bit better. So the butterfly for 6 minutes will give you a good deep release. So you can start, again, there's more options with the feet close in and the chest forward, with the back and the spine straight, or coming forward, resting the elbows in the feet, or resting the elbows at the side, and take the feet further away to reduce the intensity in the inner thigh, more of a stretch in your lower back and your hamstrings. And half butterfly, so 3 minutes each side, will be left foot into right thigh, folding over the right leg, and then I'll tell you when it's half time. Okay, so whichever one you choose, I'm going to go with the Yang butterfly for a minute or so, and then going into more Yin butterfly. But remember, you can do the half butterfly if you want to. So working on the 10-second breath, or if you have a 10-second breath, that's 6 breaths per minute. Or if you want to go deeper, maybe to the 6 in and 6 out, that's a 12-second breath. So really slowing the breath down to 5 breaths per minute. So we're coming up to about halfway. So if you're in your half butterfly, we're stretching the right foot back to the centre now and stretching out the left leg. Bring the right foot into the left thigh, and folding over the left leg. Still focusing on that coherent breathing or clear breath. If you want to, you can go now into more yin, butterfly. Excuse me. Need to get a drink. If you're working on your 10-second breath or 12-second breath, about another 8 breaths or so. Preparing to move out of your half butterfly or full butterfly by lifting up slowly and stretching out both legs. First of all, shaking the legs, maybe bringing the hands behind and puffing the chest up towards the ceiling. Feel that opening in the front of the body. Maybe lifting the hips up, breathing in and lowering down, breathing out. Maybe another 2 or 3. Breathing in to push the hips up, out to lower down. Okay, so for 7 minutes we come into our last pose, which is either legs in the air or legs up the wall. So I'll show you legs in the air because I haven't got a wall handy. So legs in the air, it can be lying on a block with your sacrum on the block, or just lying on the floor, and can interlock the fingers and take the hands behind the legs. We can draw our feet over our head. We can even go into, so this is kind of reclining caterpillar, or just legs in the air, or you can lift up and take the feet over into what we call snail. So that's perhaps if you've got quite a flexible back. Be careful you don't look around in snail. You can even bring the feet onto a chair behind you, or the wall behind you, or the feet onto the floor. So it's up to you. If your legs are up the wall, Well, I have got the wall handy. If your legs are up the wall, you bring your side of your hip close to the wall and then kind of lean onto your elbows and lie on your back with the legs up the wall. And from here you can even do different positions. You can go into butterfly up the wall or straddle with the feet apart. So making yourself comfortable might be, if your legs are up the wall, it might be quite intense on your back or hamstrings even. So sometimes you might need a soft blanket or rolled up towel. So I'm going to do legs in the air and a bit of snail. We're supposed to be doing it for 7 minutes and we've already been going 2 minutes, so another 5 minutes. So these postures with the feet in the air are inversions. This one especially, legs up the wall or feet in the air, is, the proper name is the Great Rejuvenator. It brings fresh blood into the body, fresh oxygen, reduces toxins, it really helps tired legs. It's also great for our back, to reset our back with it being flat into the floor. So it's up to you if you want to try the snail. Give it a go. Could bring your hands onto your lower back first and then try not to look around, like I said. Can keep the movement a little bit dynamic, because the snail's one of the more intense yin postures. Come out of any of the postures if it becomes too much. Just roll out slowly. It's about another 6 breaths, so just really try to focus on the deep breath. And then we're bringing ourselves, if you legs up the wall slowly, bring your knees into your chest. And take the knees side to side. If you're in snail, come out slowly. If you were close to the wall, just gently bring your knees down to the side and move yourself away from the wall. And we'll go into a reclining twist, a dynamic reclining twist. So our arms are out to the side, palms up or down. Really try to stretch your fingertips away to help separate the shoulder blades. Keep the chin towards the chest. Knees are together, feet are together, and we're taking the knees down to one side. Feel the stretch up the opposite side of the back, lower back, hips maybe. And then knees back to the centre, and knees down to the other side. You might feel a nice stretch or opening in the chest and the armpits, or you might notice the sensations in the hips, the back. And we'll get ready for final relaxation. So if you need to release your back a bit more, you just draw one knee into the chest, extend the opposite leg, and change sides. And then final relaxation. A couple of options for the legs, so we could go into constructive rest. That's the knees together and feet apart, or just the feet apart, knees apart, or the legs out straight, feet apart slightly, toes out to the side. Make sure your chin is coming towards your chest. So if the chin is thrown back, just rest the back of your head on a block or blanket. And then hands are out at the side with the palms facing up. And slowly scanning the body. As you breathe gently, take awareness into your toes. So the big right toe, then all the other toes to the little toe. Move awareness to the left foot, the big left toe, and all the other toes to the left small toe. And take awareness into the ankles. Take awareness into the right ankle, right calf, right shin, right knee joint, right thigh, right hip, right leg. Take awareness into the left ankle, left calf, left shin, left knee joint, left thigh, left hip, left leg. And both legs together. Take awareness into the back, the lower back, middle back relaxing, upper back relaxing, shoulders softening, the whole back together, releasing. Take awareness into the right fingers, the right thumb, fingertips, the right wrist, right elbow, right shoulder, right arm. Take awareness into the left fingers, the left thumb, the left wrist, left elbow, left shoulder, left arm. Both arms together, softening, relaxing. Take awareness into the face, the mouth, the nose, right eye, left eye, right eyebrow, left eyebrow, right ear, left ear, forehead, back of the head. Feel yourself relaxing, awareness, at ease, breathing softly. Now bring awareness back to the room. Gentle movement back into the body. Whichever way feels nice. So rotating the ankles and the wrists, maybe wiggling the fingers, wriggling the toes. Slowly draw the knees in towards the chest, hugging the knees in, knees side to side. When you're ready, either rolling up to seated or bringing the knees down to the side, Draw yourself up slowly. Thank you for watching. Nice deep stretch there. Thank you and see you soon. Bye.